Thanks, Lee. Hi, everyone. What Lee forgot to mention there was I actually started my career in working in a pharmacy when I was in college, so I have some idea what it's like to be in a dispensary. I'll start with what the bank's doing in this space, I think, in the first instance, and work the way down to how we're helping businesses and what we see as the future of sustainability for our businesses. So Bank of Ireland has an ambition to get to net zero by 2050, and that's aligned to Ireland's climate action plan. Some of the ways that we're looking to do that is, we've embedded sustainability as one of our core strategic pillars. This mic feels a bit weird. So we're supporting the green transition, we're enhancing financial well-being and enabling our colleagues to thrive, and I think that's something we can all look at in our businesses. We're the first Irish business to set science-based targets. So we have, committed to reducing our own emissions via our own operations, but also helping, how do we decarbonise our loan book, basically. So we've committed to, helping our customers and how we lend to our customers in a more reduced GHG emission way. And we've had some successes in the first year. We've reduced our scope 1 and 2 emissions by 42% in year one. And we have basically 23% of our corporate customers have already committed to science-based targets. So I think that just shows you the general direction of travel in terms of where we're going in this space. Also, as a bank, we have set sustainable finance targets. And basically, we have an ambition to reach 15 billion of sustainable finance by 2025 and 30 billion by 2030. And I guess the way we plan to do that is, to lend more sustainable to our customers. We introduced a sustainable finance framework earlier this year. And basically what that means is, as a bank, we put some clarity and transparency around what we consider a sustainable product, but also a sustainable loan going forward. So hopefully it, gives some knowledge to our lenders around what they can talk to their customers about, and also to our customers about how they can borrow more sustainably. And I'll touch on some of our products in a minute just to give you a bit of a flavour for what that might look like from a business perspective. I guess, as a bank, we've put together a dedicated sustainability team here. I work for the corporate and commercial division, and that basically is all of our business customers, from your large PLCs down to your farmer. So we've put in a number of supports and we work with our customers. I guess our real ambition is to get out and speak to customers, understand what are their challenges in this sector, what's the fear around thinking about sustainability, but also what are the opportunities for customers. As a team, we've put together a grant crib sheet, which we think will be very useful for smaller businesses. That's available on Bank of Ireland's Green Digital Hub. And that basically just gives you in one place, a list of the grants that are available to you as a business for investing in green in your business. We also have put together a one-pager on each sector about what the type of ESG KPIs will be relevant for your sector. Again, that's also available on our website. And we speak to our customers all the time around the type of KPIs and metrics that are important in their business going forward, and how they can align themselves to their key customers and their key suppliers. So just, I suppose, a couple of our products to give you a flavour for, what we're doing in this space. We do have a green business loan, which offers a discount to our normal lending when customers are looking to invest in green or sustainable systems for their business. And that can include things like solar panels, it can include, insulation, new windows, it can include EVs or better technology or more efficient machinery. So it's quite a wide ranging. And as I say, back on our website, we have a list of all the green eligible criteria that fits under that green business loan. Similarly, we have a growth and sustainability loan, which is underwritten by the government, basically for kind of energy efficiency type projects that you're taking in your business. And again, that's a discounted rate. But I just wanted to touch on another loan that we're offering to our farming base at the moment, just to give you a flavour for how we see this developing. Agriculture is a big it's a big portfolio in the bank, but also it's a big GHG emission issue for Ireland. It's one of our key sectors. And back last year, we partnered with Kerry Group. Basically, Kerry is obviously a dairy co-op, and it has a number of farmers in that co-op. And they wanted to promote more sustainable actions on the farm. So they came up with a sustainability program called Evolve. And for farmers who agreed to join Evolve, basically they had to agree to a number of sustainable KPIs on farm, things like, managing the measurement of their hedgerows, things like soil health, things like slurry management and water management. And if they agreed to these KPIs, they would then join the Evolve programme and benefit from a premium milk price from Kerry. And we agreed with Kerry that we would also back into this Evolve programme and offer a significantly discounted loan to the farmers if they were part of the programme. So kind of an incentive coming from the corporate here to really drive what the farmers are doing and basically what the supply chain is doing from a dairy perspective. And then a double incentive from the bank to say, well, actually, we'll also give you reduced rate lending. It's been a really, we've seen good momentum in this product. We launched last November with Kerry. We now have partnered with over 10 co-ops, and we have this product available to 75% of dairy farmers, with the ambition to get to 100% by the end of this year. And more importantly, the ambition to look at this across all sectors and how we can work with our large businesses to help support our small businesses to get on that sustainability journey. These are more of our corporate products, but I just wanted to give you a flavour, I guess, for the type of products I suppose your key customers or your key suppliers are doing in this space. Sustainability linked loans are basically loans that are performance loans. So basically a customer will come along and agree to sustainability metrics being embedded into their loan agreement. And once they meet those metrics, then they qualify for a reduction on their margin. So it's really about just embedding that sustainable culture into your business, but also linking your sustainability strategy with your financing strategy. We also have a green CapEx loan for our corporate customers that pretty much replicates what we do in our green business loan for our smaller businesses around green use of proceeds lending, but on a larger scale. And then we have a green bond framework which supports lending to things like renewables, electric vehicles, and green buildings. So I guess just to give you a flavour of, as a bank, we do have a suite of sustainable products, and we're continuously working to make sure we can widen that variety of products and that it serves the needs of our customers as we develop down this space, really. Just one thing I wanted to touch on was something that we see as a key theme for 2025 and beyond. It is the Corporate Sustainable Reporting Directive, or CSRD. If you haven't heard of it, you probably will at some point in the next couple of years, because it's going to be a key driving force for sustainability in Ireland. Basically, it's EU legislation, and the aim of this legislation is to put sustainability reporting on an equal footing with financial reporting. And if you think about that, right, that's quite a powerful message coming from the EU and has been legislated in Ireland. We as businesses have always thought about financial reporting. It's embedded in how we run our business. Every business develops a set of accounts at the end of every year. So now we're asking our larger businesses to have sustainability metrics in their reporting as well, and to report on it on the same level as they do from a financial perspective. So really embedding it into their systems and collecting the data. Not to scare anyone in the room, this is largely going to impact larger businesses. It's going to impact the banks, it's going to impact the PLCs and the large corporates in the first couple of years. It's going to be 50,000 businesses brought into scope in the first 2 years. But eventually it will filter down to smaller businesses. So we expect to see most SMEs, or small and medium enterprises, for those that don't know what that is, to kind of be brought into this scope by 2028 to 2029. And what we're seeing really, I suppose, for our smaller businesses is the fact that you're going to be asked questions around what you're doing around sustainability, because the larger businesses and the banks are being asked to report on this. We've been asked to report on an extensive range of data, and where are we going to get that data from? We're obviously going to get it from our supply chain. So you may already see it in some kind of mandates that are coming through and some tenders. That there starts to be sustainability questions being filtered into those tenders. And I suppose the reason we're kind of talking about this today is to kind of look up the road and a little bit around the corner to have a think about what you guys can do to prepare yourselves for that. I know you're much smaller businesses, or maybe you don't own the business, but it's to have a key conversation with your employers, because I think going back to what Noel was speaking about earlier is those multiples for your business are obviously really important and how you're driving profitability. But actually, if you embed sustainability as one of your USPs, that's going to be a key advantage going forward, I think, and that will also place you ahead of your peers, because I think investors are going to increasingly focus on, what sustainability strategy you have. What can you do as a smaller business? Well, you can maybe make sure somebody in your business is a dedicated resource for sustainability. Obviously not full time, but maybe that's one of their jobs, to think about what we can do as a pharmacy to be more sustainable, what kind of actions we can take, whether it be switching to different energy sources. I think the next one is more about pharmacy, like switching to new energy sources, more renewable energy sources. How can we reduce our energy within the business? It might be as simple as, how can we educate our staff to make sure they turn off the lights at the end of every day, right? Or have timers on when your computers come switched on. Like, it's not necessarily large, big investments either. It could be just small behavioural changes that will help your business be more mission friendly. Maybe it's worthwhile someone in your business having to think about going on a carbon literacy course. There's lots of courses out there. Many of them are free of charge. If you think about the SEII, they run a number of courses around energy reduction. It's a couple of hours workshop. You can do it. There's lots of other training funds for businesses to think about, how they could train somebody within their business. I suppose the key, I think, and coming back to the investor and the multiple piece, is, if I'm a small business and I become carbon literate and do a course of some sort in this, then my next step is probably I'm going to go ahead and measure my carbon footprint. And there are grants available out there to have consultants come in and help you to do that. If you measure your carbon footprint, you can then consider, what actions can I take to take some of that emissions out of my business? If you have some actions about reducing your carbon footprint, then you can track how you're doing against those actions, and eventually you can build a report around that. And that's important, I think, for an acquisition or an MBO, because people are coming in looking at those metrics. Going back to Brian's conversation about due diligence, historically it was always around financial metrics, but actually going forward, I think if you can have at least considered what your business looks like, what your carbon footprint looks like, what potential actions you can take, or even better, take those actions and track them, then I think it will genuinely place you ahead of the pharmacy across the road or up the road, because you will be an easier acquisition for investors. Sorry, these are just some of the key themes, and I think this is the pharmaceutical industry in general rather than necessarily pharmacies, but as I say, you have to think about what your key suppliers are going to be doing. I know we're going to be talking to Uniphar and United Drug as they come in later, and they have a direction of travel in this space as well. So you look at what they're doing in this space and maybe think about how you could align to their KPIs or their metrics over time. This is not an overnight, fix. But I guess carbon footprinting and energy reduction I've talked about, so I think that's covered. The packaging that's coming into your business, the waste that you're using in your business. Is there a way for, customers to start thinking about using reusable tabs rather than all the packaging and the paper that's going out the door? Is there an option in your business to have some sort of biodiversity? Maybe not, but it's something to consider. Is there an option to have solar panels or a waste or a heat pump or a water pump? Again, all around measuring what you're doing in your business and how you're reporting it. Sustainability is not all about the E in the ESG. It is about social. It is about making sure your staff are engaged, are content, but how do you make sure they're incentivized? And again, it's not just financially. Is there courses you can be investing in and making sure that they're the leaders of the future, not just in sustainability, but in the pharmacy world, and looking at things like inclusion and diversity, and does your business represent, I guess, the people on the high street? And then the G is really around the frameworks and, what kind of, overarching plan do you have for sustainability, or what policies do you have in place around staff? What commitments do you have for your community? But data, I have to point to the top one there, is going to be the key driver, I think, over the next 10 years in this space, really, because there's just going to be a significant increase for demand for data going forward. So as I mentioned earlier, look, there's lots of tools available to smaller businesses to think about how they get on the pathway, and maybe Grania after this can circulate our grant crib sheet as well, which I think will be useful to have a think about, what you're entitled to and how you could use that for your business. But I probably will just finish off with a quote from Larry Fink, who is the CEO of a large fund called BlackRock. And his says that we invest in sustainability not because we're environmentalists, but because we are capitalists. And really the key message there is that, sustainability is commercial decision in your business, and it comes back to that valuation, it comes back to customer coming to you, it comes to talent retention. So really thinking about sustainability as you make decisions in your business, where do you want to be on that sustainability kind of profile and how you can stay viable within that supply chain. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Colette.